Hi, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, like and subscribe. Tonight's topic is about avoid and deny behavior. Uh, the main thing that comes with this behavior is going to be ignoring you. That is like the primary thing they do, is they'll ignore you. So now let's dive into this. I want to talk about how I recognize this behavior. Actually, the way I found this out about avoid and deny, and this is my own personal account of this, is I found out about avoid and deny because of a pattern that people just kept doing. They would ignore me, right? Like, especially once I got success, they just started to ignore me. And I was like, there's something wrong with this here. Why would they ignore me? Like, wouldn't you actually want to be friends with me when I'm successful? And you that's what you would think. Like, you'd think, like, they want to be friends with you when you achieve success. You would think, like, oh, people want to hang out with me. That was exactly how I found out about this behavior. Because these same people that ignored me, right, when I became successful, uh, these people ignored me. And they were not ignoring me before success. They were perfectly fine with me. And it's almost like they enjoyed me not being successful to feel better about themselves. So you start to find out when they ignore you with this ignore and deny behavior. And I'll get into the deny in in a little bit. It's part of the ignoring. But why they'll ignore you is, and this is the main, they'll avoid you and they'll deny your success. And why I'm saying that it's ignoring is because that's like the main thing they're gonna do, is they're gonna ignore you. The best way, like I said, I found out, is a pattern. Geez, like, people that were cool with me before just seem to have a problem now. And it could be anything from people texting me to just social media, anything. And had that pattern not emerged, I might not have discovered this. Uh, I think it's like an unfortunate coincidence that just everyone had the same reaction, and I was able to find this out. So, I mean, I'm sure they're not happy about that, but I guess what I'm trying to tell you is when you see this behavior, when you accomplish something and they don't support you, or they're not in your, like, yeah, dude, like, that's great, like, or whatever, they're not in your box, they're not in your corner, you start to realize, like, this behavior is getting weird. Like, they're just ignoring my success. But it's it's honestly a passive aggressive way to deal with you. Let's say you redo social media. I've done that. When you start to see passive aggressive behavior, like, they'll acknowledge you but not do anything about it, you start to go, whoa, what's going on here? Why would you act like this? Especially when I've done something better. Like, that would make who you surround yourself with even better at this point. So why would they do that? And then you start to realize it's the subtleties. It's their insecurities. Like, it's just, they're subtle about it. It could be numerous different things. It could be things going on in their life. But the main thing is, you're gonna notice that people will ignore you. That is the main, like it's like the verb, like the action they're gonna take. And when they deny your success, because I wanted to get to that, it's just, though, it's basically, they'll ignore it. Like, oh, you did something good, don't want to talk about it, don't care, don't want to know. Like, they only care about themselves, and they'll shut you out. And it's probably, they'll do it for fear of social judgment. Like, they don't want, like, maybe I was comparative to another person. Maybe they figured we're like equals or something, and they don't like that I just got ahead because I am successful and I worked hard to get it. So now they're afraid of that comparison, so they'll just completely avoid you so that no one can compare. There's a lot of things that people do that are interesting, and they give away their behavior patterns. I find just a lot of these things to be true about how this stuff goes and operates. Um, I think that a lot of people do things that you would never expect. Well, like I said, the pattern is what gave this away. Um, I don't think if it was for the pattern, I don't think I would have been able to realize people's behavior. It it, it opened up everything. Because when you're like, huh, weird, I got this new job and this person doesn't text me. Oh wait, this person doesn't text me anymore. Oh wait, this person ignores me on social media now. You start to realize like, whoa, wait, there's a trend here, and it's crazy. Like, why is this happening? And when you notice that, you just don't understand why people would do that stuff, and you kind of want to ask like yourself, like, is it something I'm doing? Am I doing something wrong? You're not doing anything wrong. It's just people's insecurities that cannot deal with your win. Um, and it's just a whole pattern. You'll notice it. Like, if you do something good and then they all downplay it or ignore it, they're avoiding your success. And downplaying is probably another one they're going to do. They're going to, oh, it's, they'll act like it's not that big of a deal. But these are just insecurities. They don't want you to have the win. They don't want you to be successful. It all goes back to that saying. They want you to do well, but not better than you. And why a lot of this has to do with success is because this is what I found out happens. Like, I had no idea. I thought for the longest time people were like, "Oh, hey, I want you to be successful. Like, why aren't you stepping up? Like, you need to do X, Y, Z." And then you start to realize like this something seriously wrong here. Like, I did what you were rooting for me to do the whole time, but now I've done it apparently too good or something, and they don't like it, so they'll ignore you. And it's just pretty incredible when you see how people act. But I think it's the passive aggressive behavior. It is, to ignore you is so passive aggressive. There's no other way to describe it. It's completely unnecessary. Y- these people just have issues that they haven't dealt with internally, and I just want people to know, like, if people are avoiding and denying your success, you're successful. It's clearly they have an insecurity. They cannot deal with it, and they avoid you, and they ignore you, and there's just no other way to look at it. Um, these are just unfortunate things that happen, and you just have to roll with it. Like I said, the pattern is that blew my mind when I saw the pattern. I was like, because like other than that, you could be like, oh, oh, this person's busy. Okay, that's fine. They're busy, not a big deal. Um, then you could chalk it up to like, oh, this person must not go online, or oh, this person must have something going on in their life. And then when you start to realize, like, wait a minute, this is not the case. Every single person is doing the same exact thing. Like, they're doing it, they're doing it, they're doing it. This guy's over here doing it. And, like, you just, it blew my mind. That is when I saw, that was like when I had my awakening on this behavior. Um, I didn't know that people would really do that. Like, but you know what the thing is? They want you to think it's in your head. The whole point is so that you question yourself. Oh, why are they ignoring me? And then you question yourself. And the whole point or what they would like to happen is you revert back to the way you used to be. And when you do that, you're letting them win. But the thing is you just have to overcome it and realize they're going to just ignore you. And there's nothing you can do about it. I wouldn't focus on it. I would just note the whole goal of them doing that to you is 100% to revert you back to what you were doing before. you, it, it's what they hope. It's what they're hoping to accomplish, and I typically don't think a lot of people realize that. But if you revert back to that, that's terrible. Then they won't ignore you. But I mean, you'll get that part, but that's not what you want. Because who would want to not be successful? You want to be broke and poor, but people pay attention to you. That's not. But they're paying attention to you for the wrong reasons. It's really incredible what I learned with this pattern, because I never realized this. I was like, oh wow, people were so invested in me when I wasn't doing that great, or when I was in struggles, or I had like health issues, like I had issues with my eyes. So it's like, why are you more interested in me now? You want to pay attention to me when I'm not doing that great, but when I'm doing better than you, well, you can't have it. It's unbelievable. You're just gonna ignore me, and I think this is like a dead giveaway. It's just a dead giveaway what their behavior is. I mean, I try hard to surround myself with more successful people, so it blows my mind when people do this, but it's really the people closest to you that will do this. And it's weird because it could be like friends, people you grew up with. They'll do it to you, but like the thing is you'll find total strangers that'll be more interested in you and believe in you, and that's when you know you're definitely on the right path. You're doing something right, and right then and there should be like a wake-up call. Like, don't revert back. That is exactly what they want. Do not do it. It's like I said, it's going to be hard when everyone ignores you, and you're like the whole point is to get you down and not confident and not believing in yourself. And the best way to is just to ignore them. And there's plenty of people in the world. Don't let that unfortunate thing take you down, because that's exactly what they want to happen, so that they can feel better about themselves. Then they'll pay attention to you. The only reason a lot of people pay attention to you, and I think that I've learned this. I didn't know this. A lot of people, I think, used to pay attention to me when I didn't do well, and I just thought I was like, oh, people must like me, like, you just believe that. You're like, oh, they must like me or something. And then when you're like, oh no, they only liked me because I wasn't doing well, and they were using that to feel better about themselves. So say like social media, you go on like something like Facebook. A lot of people would use that, right? You go on and you evaluate like where are you at in life, and you start seeing these people, and I think that when they see you doing worse, they're more interested in you because it makes them feel good. They go online, they're like, oh, this guy's struggling. I'm happy about this. And that's really messed up as it is, but I think this is how a lot of people function. They go, because social media, the problem is a lot of people, like I would call Facebook fake book, because everyone's on there pretending like they're on vacation all day and eating fancy dinners all day. And it's like, dude, that could not be further from the truth, especially now. Like, while I'm doing this video, the way the prices are for, like, restaurants and all that kind of stuff, I'm sorry. Not believable. Like, I don't believe you're at a restaurant all the time. You'd go broke. Like, there's no way you could do that. So, these people will say things that are outrageous or like, make it sound like their life is perfect. And I think that those are the people who crave the people who aren't doing well, so that they feel better about themselves. Because if your life is great, you don't need to post a picture of a dinner. It's like, you can do that all the time. Why would you do that? Why would you post that? And the thing that would blow my mind with people doing that, it's like, you didn't even make it. That's someone else's thing that they did. Why are you trying to take credit for it, you know? And it's incredible the lengths that people will go to with this behavior. But it all stems from insecurity. They will avoid and deny your success because it doesn't benefit them. And that's what you need to realize. As crazy as some of this may sound, like you may be like, what am I crazy? No, you're not crazy. This is how people act. And they think like they'll go on and they'll say how great their life is, but they need people that aren't doing well so that their life feels better. But again, it's fake book. So make everything look like you live on a vacation and go out to dinner every night. We all know that's not the truth. Like, there's no job that you can be on vacation 24 hours a day unless you own some company that you're making a killing and everybody else is doing the work. I'm sorry. If you have a regular job or some realistic job, you're not on vacation all day. And the people that make it seem like this, it's for other purposes. Even if they had to travel with someone for work, you still got to do your job. So there's just a lot of things out there that cause this avoid and deny behavior. Maybe they see you with a better car, right? But when you get one, they're gonna act like they're gonna forget you. Like they're gonna act like, I'll forget this guy. I don't want to even deal with him. Say I get a luxury car right now. Like, you just know some people. Like, if I go out and buy one right now, you know that some people are just gonna ignore me, and they're gonna be like, forget this guy. Like, I don't want to deal with it, and they don't want to because they know deep down inside it's their insecurities. They just want to avoid and deny your success. And I just want people to know that this is for real. People do this. And I didn't mean to go so much into the social media aspect there, but I think that's what causes a lot of this avoid and deny. A lot of people would be like, oh, what does that have to do with anything? But if you understand how people are, you understand how they act, then you understand what matters to them. And what matters is how they present themselves, how they think they're superior. And if you do anything that is better than them, they don't want to talk about it because it's not them who's winning. And that's the other thing that's with avoid and deny. If they're not winning, they're not having it. That's a huge problem. Now, these are people I typically will never speak to again. It's like you have a problem. Like if I get a car and you want to try to go get a new one because I got one, honestly, I'm not competing with you in that aspect. That's not how I compete in life. You want to go to the gym with me and you want to see who can bench more, by all means, I'm down. That's a friendly competition. But when you start taking it to some other level because of your insecurities, I'm out. I'm not playing your game. I live life on my terms. I'm not playing your game. Like, and this is where you got to realize too, those people are not worth it. They're not worth it. Forget about them. Let them go out of your life. You don't need them. If they're going to avoid your success because it's not their success, you don't need them in your life. You don't need them. There's a lot of things but the social media, I'm telling you, is key to finding out these behaviors. The things that, because like I said, no one's on vacation all day, every day. This is, your average person does not have that kind of life. So when people misrepresent it, or they only want to show the most positive things about their life and not the every day-to-day stuff, you know they're not being truthful. But those are usually the people who have the biggest problem with it. But I've seen it so many times. Like, I think the most thing that did it for me, that was the most obvious, was when I got to engineering. And I was like, I'm gonna redo my Facebook. I'm kind of all done with my past. The whole journey was to get here. I mean, I still, there's still more to do in the journey, but like, the whole point was to get here, and um, I kind of just wanted to, put the rest to bed, and I got off of it for a few months. Then when you come back on and you see how people act that were connected with you before and they're not anymore, and you start to realize like, hey man, I don't understand this. And then when the pattern emerged, it was like, oh, now I see what's happening here. And and the greatest part, the greatest part of the end of this is if you get to this part of the video, the pattern told the story. Had these people not all acted the same, I would have never found this out. But the problem is, I'm sure they're mad because their intention wasn't for me to find out. It was to quietly ignore and deny me. And when everybody else does it, it becomes apparent. Like, I know what you're doing. I know exactly what you're doing. And now the awkward stage comes when I just don't care anymore. So I see what you do. I don't want to ever be friends with you again. And there's nothing like, and that's the thing you gotta realize with this behavior. Forget about these people. Don't ever be friends with them again, because there's nothing that can make up for that. Once they don't like you did something good, that says it all right there. Because like, if you have a true friend, they're gonna be happy for you through good and bad, not just only when you do bad. Oh yeah, I'm always there for you. Quietly in their head, like, as long as I'm winning. So this is just behavior that it's hard to see it until you see the pattern that exposed everything. Because then I started to realize, what is it about each person that would do this? And then when you get the pattern, you have more to go with, because you're like, I think these two people are bothered by the same thing, and you can see just their reactions, and especially if they do ignore you, the ones that do it in a similar style, in a way, that they feel a similar way, but you would have never been able to pick that up had you not seen it in the pattern. So patterns is key. Just recognizing patterns. That will tell you a lot about people's behavior. It's kind of like those crime documentary shows. You watch it and they're like, hey, this guy has a pattern. All his ex-wives died like this. That pattern that tells you everything. It tells you everything you need to know. And that's how I'm making this video. Like, you see the pattern, you find out the behavior, and you realize there's something deeply disturbing and wrong with this. But those are the people, again, you don't want to ever be friends with them. You don't even want to associate with these people, because if that's how they act with you, because maybe they thought, like, I'm here, you're here, and I'm always going to be up here, like on this level. And then when you change that and you're like, nah, actually I'm up here, you're probably here now, so they'll never speak to you again, probably. But it's kind of good in a way. It's like, now I know where I stand. Good. Don't talk to me anymore. So the whole point of this video is to show you that behavior is toxic. Don't tolerate it, and don't ever let those people back into your life. If you're new here, like and subscribe. Thank you for watching this video, and come back for more on more topics.